Greetings, peace and prosperity. People refer to me as Nikema. You can too. Taylordtherapy is the name of my organization, and my trade is cognitive behavioral therapy. I like to say cognitive behavioral therapist with a twist because I am culturally competent and integral. Very culturally competent and integral. And I say that because I am not only an advocate on anti-racism, I have learned and is still learning how people of African descent manage, navigate, and deal with micro and macro aggressions in a Eurocentric environment. And sometimes that's not talked about in therapy. I don't know about you, but my training did have a equality and diversity module. God bless those that taught me on that course, but it's not necessarily teaching us to be culturally competent. And that's one of the things that I advocate for. I was a little bit disheartened in the module, and they invited me and a great friend of mine to run the course the following year. The module, shall I say, not the course, the equality and diversity part of the course. And what we did was talked about how cultural competency is important, even if there's a white therapist male and a white client who's male, we still have to be congruent, we still have to be competent. There are people who look like me who don't see therapy as useful, and if they're sitting in front of someone who looks like them, they may have an ideology that all professionals may be European, all scientists might be European, all psychologists might look like middle-class white women or middle-class white men. And when they see me, they have to adjust their norm, their psychological norms, if that makes sense. So it's dealing with that, as well as working on the challenges that people are faced with, whether it's depression, anxiety, loneliness, stress. And yeah, so that's me. That's one of the reasons, that's part of me. It was one of the reasons why I'm an advocate, or I'm pushing for me to be more knowledgeable in this area and be an advocate for individuals, because it's not talked about as much in mainstream. It's not talked about as much as it should be in therapy as well. I've had therapy in the past and talked openly to my therapist at the time. He was a white man, about racism and about micro and macro aggressions, and that he might not necessarily understand and overstand what it is to feel that way on a day-to-day basis. He had a different view. He took empathy to a different level, which I appreciate with him. And he has experienced something, but systemically and systematically, let's be real. He was very open, and I appreciate him. Gestalt therapy, that was. That was very, very useful. And I took that upon myself to get therapy when I was getting trained in this particular field of cognitive behavioral therapy. Not sure how many people know, but it's not necessarily a requirement for therapists to have therapy, which I thought it should be. I think all types of trainee therapists in whatever field, whether it's the IAPT field, which is introducing or access to psychological therapies or improving access to psychological therapies, if you're a trainee, you need therapy, even if you think you're doing fine. To be in that position where you're feeling vulnerable, where you can empathize with the client sitting in front of you, it's great to be in that role. and it's not just role play, actual space. So yeah, if you're a psychotherapist, it's a requirement. If you're a counselor, if you're a bereavement specialist, if you're a practitioner, it usually is a requirement that you need a certain amount of hours. And yes, we all do. It's okay to have therapy. Therapy doesn't mean weakness. And vulnerability doesn't mean a bad thing. It's not a bad word. We should normalize it, just as a part of life, you know, and it giving us opportunity to become stronger, feel more balanced. Anyway, that's a little bit early. A bit of, I like to do these little kind of bite-size videos, just so you guys get a bit of a background as to me, who I am, my hobbies, what I like, what I don't like, those sorts of things. Just me as an individual. I'm giving you all of me while I'm promoting myself as well. So I am going to be offering in December. I know it's early, but it's great for you guys to plug in. Any family members might be useful, maybe needing something. They can plug into this free course that I'm going to be giving to people to help them with anxiety, depression, and loneliness across this festive period. Some people have lost a lot, whether it's routine, usual way of living 2 years ago, year and a half ago, families splitting up, friends splitting up because of different types of being pulled from pillar to post or whatever, you know, disagreeing on whether to or not, you know. So it's a lot, it's heavy, and it's coming into that hibernation period. So I feel like our bodies are telling us to just slow down and just retreat. So I'm going to give you some tools and some tips to help you. It'll probably be about an hour long. It'll be like a PowerPoint. You just click on it and just watch and listen. You can pause. So look out for that. And there's something else coming up in the new year for females. I am promoting to awaken the feminine within by releasing any sexual blockages. I will talk more and more about that with you guys. Stay tuned. Be well. Peace and prosperity.